low budget bets. Here's how we did last week. Welcome back, Low Rollers, to Low Budget Bets. We got a new little studio set up.
We're moving up.
We moved up to some classy Heinekens instead of Bud Lights.
Nice, Heine.
Yes, thank you. Dean, I gotta ask you, what is your favorite thing about the playoffs?
My favorite thing about the playoffs is, any number of things. I like the intensity of the football players. It seems like they actually, sometimes it seems like they do go through the motions and stuff. When they're out there, it's playoff time. You really see it has meaning to them. They want it. You see that. And then you see the idiots like Vontez Perfect that just ruin it and stuff. So, if there's a bigger idiot in the NFL, I don't know who it is.
Maybe Pac-Man Jones.
Only a close second.
You know what my favorite thing about the playoffs is?
What?
Not having to watch these guys lose every week.
That could be next year. They might. Maybe they'll get them Chip Kelly.
No. Let's get to the picks.
All right, let's do it.
Game number 1, we got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling up to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots, who are 5-point favorites. Dean, what are your thoughts on that one?
I don't think there's a team hotter in the NFL than the Kansas City Chiefs, and if there's a team more beat up in the NFL than the New England Patriots, I don't know who it is. Put those two things together, I think it's a recipe for disaster and possibly even the full-out upset. At 5 points, I gotta say I like Kansas City's.
I agree. I like Kansas City to cover the 5 points, or to take the 5 points, I should say. Upset watch in that game number 1 there.
We're going to start it off early.
Yes. So, anyway, let's move on.
All right, moving on to game number 2. We've got the Green Bay Packers at the Arizona Cardinals, who are 7-point favorites. This is where we differ. Ray?
Well, yeah, I just think the Packers, I like the Packers to cover. I like the Packers, taking the Packers in the 7 points. My concern is Arizona's offensive line. I don't know if the Cardinals will be able to keep Carson Palmer upright against that pass rush. It looked like they really got to Kirk Cousins big time when they knew they had to pass. I think if the Packers can get the run game going, which was kind of the catalyst for them to really take off against Washington last week, I just think the Packers and the points are the play. You disagree though, so
I will say this. Last week you called out Vegas for not knowing what they're talking about. This week I'm going to have to call out you. Just for the fact that you're comparing Washington and how they played and Green Bay dominating them, or at least having their way, putting them even in the same discussion as the Arizona Cardinals, not even close. Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback, and great quarterback play in the playoffs is usually your determining factor, but there's not that much of a drop-off between Carson Palmer and Aaron Rodgers. You look at the talent up and down the line, it's the Cardinals. It's not even going to be close. This one's for bragging rights, folks. Next week's loser between me and Ray's got to wear the pink shirt. Okay. But until then, Ray's got the Packers. I got the Cardinals. Right. And you low rollers know who to go with.
Game number 3, we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling all the way across country to take on the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers are 3-point favorites in the game. Why don't you tell us what you think on that?
I think Seattle's done. They've had to fight now for 8 weeks in a row just to get themselves in a position for the playoffs. The Minnesota Vikings gave them all that they can handle and arrested Carolina Panthers team with a top-notch defense is just going to be too much. The nail in the coffin, Seattle's done. I'm going to like Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously I agree that the Panthers... that little bit of rest, I'm sure, helps Cam Newton a little bit. He's I'm sure was banged up towards the end of the season, whether it was on the injury report or not. The Panthers defense, I mean, we saw what the Vikings defense did to Seattle. Yep. I mean, really, Seattle shouldn't even be in this game.
No.
The only thing that scares me is it seems like all those fluke things that happen in the postseason seem to happen to Seattle's benefit.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
Russell Wilson living right.
Yeah, exactly. But I agree. I think the Panthers covered the 3 points, and we can move on to the next one.
Yep. All right, and last and probably certainly least, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are 6.5-point favorites. Ray, what do you think?
I think somehow, some way, Big Ben, much to my dismay,
Yes.
always finds a way to win games. He always, and even though he's got shoulder issues, he'll still play. He'll still dink and dunk. That's kind of what their offense is anyway. I mean, that's why Antonio Brown had like 794 catches in the regular season. They're going to have a hard time getting that run game going, though, I think, because they're really going to be keying in on it now, and obviously the running backs are hurt. But going on the other side of it, Peyton Manning, like we were talking about in our preparation for the show, I have just as many questions about him as I do Big Ben.
You can't bet on him in the playoffs, healthy or not. It's always been a roller coaster ride once January rolls around with Peyton. Pittsburgh doesn't have much of a defense, but they're not going to need it. It's going to stay close, and I wouldn't be surprised if Denver wins. But I really, really wouldn't be surprised if Denver loses. This one's going to just hang around, just stay close enough. Go ahead and take the points when you got the 6.5.
We like the Steelers in the 6.5.
Yep. All right, that'll do it for this divisional round of the low-budget bets. Right now, I'm Dean.
I'm Ray. I want to let you low rollers know to stay tuned. We're going to close this one up and send it out, and then we're gonna record another little Star Wars discussion. Ian, my boy Ian, had a question about what Dean thought of Star Wars. I'm sure we could probably both talk about Star Wars since I finally watched it a couple weeks ago. So that'll be a whole other separate video. But anyway, I guess we'll see you next time
On Low Budget Bets.
Bye.